Hello.
Huh? You like that lighter? Pickle? Nah, man.
The word pickle comes from the Dutch word pikkel, or Northern Germanic pokel, which means to salt or brine. Primary steps in the pickling process. Pickling is estimated to date back as far as 2400 BC. The exact origins of how pickling began are unknown. Someone probably just put a cucumber in some vinegar and came back a week later because there was nothing to do in 2400 BC. Several centuries later, dated around 2030 BC, cucumbers were pickled in India, their country of origin. Specifically in the Tigris Valley. Before we had canned food, we had pickling. Pickling was the best way to preserve food for a long period of time. Pickling is so good at preserving food, in fact, that if you have a jar of pickles in your fridge or on a shelf right now that says it has passed its expiration date, that is a lie put there by the government. You can eat those pickles right now. Go eat one of those pickles. Pickled foods were perfect for travelers and sailors, especially for families during long winters. My boy, it's dinner time. Time for pickles.
No, Daddy, I don't want any more pickles. We've been eating pickles for 2 months. I'd rather starve.
The cold is closing
please,
in.
Papa,
Open up.
no more
Eat a
pickles. I
pickle.
don't want any
Eat
more
a pickle.
pickles.
For better context, I will quickly explain the process of pickling. The process has some big words, so pay attention. And most of this is just ripped straight from the wiki, so I can be better accurate. Pickles are made by submerging fruits or vegetables in acidic liquid or saltwater brine until they are no longer considered raw or vulnerable to spoilage. When we think of pickles, cucumbers are the first thing to come to mind. During this time, lactic microbial organisms develop, which turns the naturally occurring sugars from foods into lactic acids. Due to this, the environment becomes quickly acidic, making it impossible for spoiling bacteria to multiply. If you have ever wondered why people drink pickle juice when they are sick, that's why. It stops the active spread of bacteria. What's funny about this is that the most popular form of pickling is salt and vinegar brine, which makes pickle juice. This is the juice sick people and dehydrated athletes drink to deal with sickness and dehydration, which has absolutely no science supporting it yet. Not a whole lot else happened with pickles until the turn of the millennia. One thing of note is that Aristotle in 350 BC praised the healing effects of pickles. Too bad it can't heal tummy aches. Around 50 BC, Cleopatra, queen of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, personally credited pickles with contributing to her health and legendary beauty. She should have ate more pickles. Her lover, Julius Caesar, there's a historical bombshell for people who didn't know how eventful history was at the time. Her lover, Julius Caesar, and other Roman leaders had their troops eat pickles with the belief that they will become stronger. Imagine it is 50 BC and you are part of the United Gauls army. You prepare for battle and you see a Roman in the distance eat a pickle. You have no idea what a pickle is. After this 6-foot, 230-pound Roman eats a pickle, he starts shouting with the ferocity of a meth addict. I'd lose a war too. By the year 900 AD, the iconic herb dill was finally used in Western Europe in the process of pickling. The title of dill pickle refers to the use of the herb. This herb gives it its recognizable flavor, meaning all pickles before this tasted like a mouthful of vinegar and pain. In the 1490s, during the age of exploration and gentrification, many sailors suffered from scurvy, a disease caused by a deficiency of vitamin C, a disease completely countered by Flintstones gummy. Christopher Columbus did his best to counter this by rationing pickles to his sailors. He soon ran out and had to grow more things to pickle in Haiti. There was another man around the same time named Amerigo Vespucci. He was a ship chandler in Seville, Spain in 1497. He was the man who supplied ships with preserved meat and pickled vegetables. He was known as the pickle dealer. I had a friend in the Navy who called himself that, and now he's in jail. Good luck on your probation hearing, Davis White. Have you ever been to someone's house and seen those pickled jars of who knows what? Well, that's not just a poor decoration choice. In the 1500s, the Spanish, who were fairly wealthy at the time, would leave many jars of different pickled peppers and stalks out. It was colorful and showed they simply had more high-quality food than they knew what to do with. The same as leaving money lying around because I just have so much. Instead of this decor being disregarded as a snobby thing to do, it became tradition. So that's why your aunt has a pickled jar of 9-year-old cherries sitting next to the toaster. In the 1650s, Dutch farmers in New York had begun growing cucumbers in the area that is now Brooklyn. Dealers would buy the cucumbers, pickle them, and sell them on the street in barrels. In 1809, Napoleon Bonaparte offered the modern-day equivalent of $250,000 to whoever could come up with the best way to pickle food for his troops. That same year, a French chef named Nicolas Appert won the competition. He figured out that if he placed food in a bottle and removed all the air before sealing it, he could then boil the bottle and preserve the food inside. With Appert's discovery of sealing said bottles with cork and wax, he was able to preserve jellies, syrups, soups, and dairy. You can thank Nicholas Appert for the eventual invention of canned chicken. In the early 1850s, James Young, a chemist from Scotland, patented paraffin wax, which created a better seal in jars used to preserve food. John Mason could not stand for this short-lived success and patented the first mason jar in 1858. because it took humanity at least 3,000 years to invent a jar with a wax lid. Have you ever wondered why they're called kosher dills? Well, kosher means that a food meets the Jewish requirements, as they are not allowed in their religion to eat some foods, same as Muslims. The Jewish people ate many vegetables in their everyday diet, and the making of the kosher dill was to tell them that the pickle is allowed to be eaten. It was described that the sharp and sour flavor of pickles was a welcome addition to the Jews, as most of their food was a bland variety like bread and potatoes. Let me say that again. The Jewish people thought the pickle tasted so good that they had to fully ensure that they were allowed to eat it. Their diet was so bland and flavorless that as soon as one of them ate a pickle, they believed there was no way it was actually something they were allowed to eat. After this, an influx of Jewish immigrants in the early 1900s into the US led to them introducing us to the kosher dill, expanding the pickle market rapidly. So yes, the Jewish people control the pickle market. Your psychotic great-grandfather was right all along. About the pickles. They'll try to silence me for this. Big Pickle, that is. No, not really. The first Big Pickle company in the US was made by H.J. Heinz in 1893. He was a devout Christian. Or was he? Yeah, he was. Even before H.J. Heinz's genuine fame, he was known around town as the Pickle King. That alimony won't pay itself, Davis White. At the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, H.J. Heinz sent out a few local boys to tempt the fairgoers with a free gift if they visited his booth and tasted his wares. By the end of the fair, he had handed out roughly 1 million pickle pins. He did this consistently from 1893 to 1939 because he was insane. With Heinz's success came competitors. Competitors that sold products similar to his but with dangerous additives. H.J. Heinz, through these actions, decided to lobby for new food safety regulations. This eventually led to the creation of the Food and Drug Administration. In the 1940s, during World War II, the U.S. would often ration pickles to their military. Eventually, 40% of all pickles went to the armed forces. In 1948, a company called Pickle Pounders launched International Pickle Week, Davis White. And for now, lastly, in the historical time of the pickle, in 2000 when the Philadelphia Eagles murdered the Dallas Cowboys 41-14, they credited their victory to drinking pickles as they helped with muscle cramps. It is because of pickle juice that we will see the return of God before the Dallas Cowboys ever win another game. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.